Dire team pick.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to the GameShow Global Esports Cup. It's going to be the European Division best of two. We got on the Dire side, No Logic Gaming. On the Radiant side, it's going to be Pub Players. And, well, I guess Pub Players forgot to put up their team name. Reborn things, I suppose. I'm Mikelorus, going to be your only caster for today. And this one should be fairly interesting, though many people are favoring No Logic Gaming, and I don't think they're giving Pub Players enough credit. Definitely seen Pub Players play very well around enemy cores, always applying the pressure at the necessary times. See them time and time again lock down and demolish alchemists. And I mean, you could do pretty much anything to pressure an alchemist. He's not exactly a super strong hero, at least as far as fighting early on. The ability for them to apply pressure at the right places at the right time,
10 seconds
really, I think, is what makes them a decent team in and of itself. But for No Logic Gaming, they're going to grab the IO. They should be grabbing a Tiny for Excalibur straight after. This is, I feel like, the opening I see all the time from No Logic Gaming. I'm not sure how they manage to always pick up an IO, since that should be banned out more often than not, especially up against NLG. But they're going to get their hands on it this time, and, well, considering, actually, going for something else and trying to force the hand of Pub Players to go for those bans out. You know, ban out Tiny, Gyrocopter, maybe, in the second phase.
10 seconds
I pretty much always see Excalibur play Tiny. He does play other heroes, I'm told.
5 seconds remaining.
But I feel like every single time he's playing, at least when I'm in the casting seat, he's playing a Tiny, and he always has an IO buddy with him.
Reserve time.
Just real quick, before we go any further, let's take a look at these names. Not all of them are tagged up properly, but Durublood is Necroman, so everyone from Pub Players, they are also actually all here properly. This Charizard guy is Mitch, and Will Yourself is Spartan. So, you know, everyone is pretty much here as they should be. It is going to be an IO Tiny after all is said and done. No Logic Gaming should be pretty happy with that, as it's a kind of a interesting opening coming out from the Radiant side. Lich being picked up with Tusk. I mean, Tusk first, fine, but usually if you're going to be picking up another support hero with Tusk, you want it to kind of be the Dazzle, or up against an IO Tiny, a Winter Wyvern, or a Disruptor, both of whom do very well. Now, Lich's Chain Frost is an okay tool at dealing with IO Tiny. You would think that because they relocate in together, the Chain Frost is just going to obliterate them. Usually for IOs and Tinies, they can get out of the Chain Frost bounce range after taking like maybe one shot apiece, maybe like 3 shots total. It's an avoidable amount of damage right now. But it's not too late for sure for Pub Players to grab that Winter Wyvern. Get 3 cold heroes. I know the synergy. Ice is good against ground, I'm told, but not good against rock. So, you know, you guys gotta keep up with the references. But it's Bane actually for the Pub Player side. I'm happy because I can make Bane jokes all day, at least in game. And rest assured, guys, you're gonna be seeing some of those, or hearing some of those rather. For NLG, they're gonna grab the Disruptor. It seems. Not really a super great hero as far as countering like a Darkseer or anything like that, or countering an IO that Pub Players have picked up themselves. But hey, it's a Disruptor, and it'll be very useful for the silence up against Lich and Bane. Good response to the Tusk. Super late Night Stalker pickup for NLG. Night Stalker is the type of hero, especially an offlane Night Stalker, that you want to have when you're running an IO Tiny. You just run into some random hero as the Night Stalker, whether it's nighttime or not, you have support coming in from the Tiny. And their ability to get these pickoffs on a global scale for NLG definitely going to put the pressure onto the Pub Players side. That being said, Pub Players do have many responsive heroes.
5 seconds
Like Lich just with the Chain Frost is a pretty substantial threat. Bane, Nightmare, Grip to keep himself safe, even maybe turn around and get some kills. And Wind Ranger, of course, just naturally difficult to peg down because of the Wind Run. What the Pub Players side are missing right now is their scaling damage to the late game. And it's not going to be Ember Spirit. That would have been probably one of the best ones. Someone to deal with an IO Tiny. The list is pretty long, but the list of viable heroes that they actually want to pick up is a lot shorter.
10 seconds remaining.
I feel like Gyrocopter probably just the easiest one here for Pub Players,
5 seconds remaining.
unless it's banned out, which it might be banned out for No Logic Gaming. And Gyrocopter, pretty difficult to kill off as Night Stalker. You really don't want to dive into him because of the power of Rocket Barrage. But really, if with the Lich on their side, they can get away with anything. Like, they can get away with dual lanes if they want to. That's just the power of the hero. So it really is, for the most part, up to them. Whereas for NLG, they're looking for their safe laner with the Disruptor as well. So, you know, it's not going to be the Centaur, actually, which would have been very interesting to see for No Logic Gaming. Have seen a couple teams pick up Mirana now as of late. And I actually do like that quite a bit here for No Logic Gaming. The exception being they don't really have a great setup for her. But you know, that type of like lighter, semi-carry-ish hero, you don't really want to go too late with that secondary hero because the IO Tiny, that's where their late game is really going to be in effect. Alchemist is still in the pool right now. For No Logic Gaming, they may want to consider going for that. Venomancer is going to be banned out first, however.
Radiant team pick.
And we'll see what pub players want to grab as their last. Venomancer would have put them on a very quick clock. Had to end the game early, or else the IO Tiny is going to eventually swamp them in the late game. Again, when you're picking cores up against the Tiny, you have to consider the fact that he's going to be putting up a lot of burst and has that craggy exterior. So you typically do want to have a hero who is going to be at least willing to buy a BKB. So like no meatbows. Yes, this one right here who's already banned out.
Reserve time.
And ideally range is better than melee. Super long range probably not going to happen. Although a Jar Ranger, I mean, it takes some serious balls to play that one for the pub player side up against a Night Stalker and a Tiny. It's not impossible, but it's just not very likely. And, well, we'll see. We will see what they want to pick up. They have quite a bit of time right now. Alternative picks. Huskar not really looking too great, really for either side, especially not for NLG. They should not be picking that one up. It's just going to be a TA. So maybe going to go safe lane TA. Although TA versus IO Tiny has an okay matchup. Definitely you have to be careful there. If you get a little bit too close to the creep wave, you may just end up getting annihilated. But this is a snowbally based draft here from the pub player side. They need this Templar Assassin to get off to a good start, Wind Ranger as well. And normally you could expect those heroes to have an okay starting phase. I mean, of course it is going to be potentially a little bit difficult going up against a Night Stalker and an IO Tiny. Two heroes that are very, two sets of heroes rather, who are very variable and can also similarly get off to an explosive start. And LG, what's it going to be though? I mean, they have some pretty good answers already for this Templar Assassin. She's going to want to go for a BKB against a Tiny, and that's kind of inconvenient for TA. You never really want to be going for that. But is a hero that can kill off IO very quickly and get on top of a Disruptor, kill him off in a couple hits. And the lanes here from pub players are still very flexible. Again, dual lanes are possible. Like Tusk, Lich, Bane, TA. Seems decent. NLG just need their final core hero. Again, the later the hero is, the worse it's going to be for them. So they do want a hero that can come up a little bit early. Like, I wouldn't even really mind someone like a Juggernaut, like, just for the spin. A Brewmaster instead, that's good too. I mean, maybe not as much burst damage, but it's a lot of control in these fights. And that's where Bane gets a lot weaker. That's where, Lich gets a lot weaker. Although you can bounce the Chain Frost off the Brewlings. You don't really want that to happen. This is just going to be the hold down the fort hero for No Logic Gaming. Now, some teams grab IO Tiny and then they just have that act as a mid lane, not really act as a core one position role. This time, it definitely does seem like No Logic Gaming want this IO Tiny to get to the late game, if at all possible. Let's pop up these overlays. Bam, we're good to go. I think I might have one of the wrong overlays, actually.
Prepare for battle.
Oh well, it looks good enough, and I'm sure if it's wrong, someone will tell me. But here we go. It's going to be game one between No Logic Gaming on the Dire side and pub players. Rule yourself. It's going to be Spartan on the IO. Got Garter on the offlane Night Stalker, it seems. Excalibur is going to be playing the Tiny. Brewmaster... Mitch is on the Brewmaster, and Milan is on the Disruptor. A little bit of my insanity action going on here. On the pub player side, Shock is going to be playing the Lich. We got Klazinki on the Wind Ranger. Necroman is going to be playing his Templar Assassin. Truly the things of nightmares. And speaking of nightmares, MDL is going to be handling the Bane. Then, of course, that leaves RNT on the off-lane Tusk. I would expect these lanes to be, for the most part, pretty standard. Templar Assassin most likely going to go towards that mid lane. Want to secure the early bottle for her with that bounty rune, and it should be pretty easy to do so. Similarly, for the NLG side, Io looking for a fast bottle of his own. Though, this is not a move that you make accidentally. The plan here is to hope that some poor sucker on the Radiant side is like, oh, I'm going to grab the bounty rune. And then you toss them up here, and then they're just screwed. It's not going to work this time, unfortunately, for NLG, but I have seen it work before. It actually was an Alchemist, and that was pretty sick. It didn't end up working in the end, because he got pushed down somehow. I don't remember how. Something happened, he got displaced. But yeah, I mean, that's at least the plan. And it costs you a tether, because you're getting a fast bottle, like the fastest bottle possible. On the IO, the mana difference isn't going to be there. Like, yeah, it's actually going to help you, since that means you can put mana into Excalibur that much easier. But it seems like Shock is going to be joining Necroman over towards the mid lane, at least for a little while. Now, this is going to hurt an NLG double, because Lich up against 2 heroes is already pretty effective with the sacrifice, getting those pretty free, pretty automatic denies out. He is a ranged hero, and that at the very least is going to be poking at Excalibur. We can already see him taking a hell of a lot of damage just from level 1. But yeah, the IO Tiny really need to get their levels up, and it's very difficult to get their levels up against the Lich, sacrificing constantly. So just that small edge is going to give it towards Necroman. He's going to put a lot of hurt to Excalibur. Really has to be careful about these angles. Excalibur! Oh, if that hit landed, I think he might have died. But now here comes the IO. He doesn't actually have any HP lost IO, so he can't heal up Excalibur just yet. He needs level 2 for the overcharge. But Excalibur really getting banged up right now. He's going to have a couple of tangos to try to recover, but man, that's just a shade of this lane, as Necroman is going to be looking for those spill hits every single time. And granted, rule yourself, Spartan is able to stack up the jungle a little bit. Not quite sure if that's worth having Excalibur stressed about his own life. And Necroman is still looking for it. Spill shots? None yet, but I'm sure it's going to be coming there. And Excalibur going to try to go first shot, going to toss him back into the IO. Not really sure if that's the greatest move here for the Tiny. He's taking a hell of a lot of damage from Necroman. Spartan going to try to go for one more right click on his shock. We'll get it. Now he has to tether away. Will do so. Has one more bottle charge left, and they can continue the fight. But it's definitely a sketchy mid lane on both sides. They have to be super careful. Over towards bottom lane in the meantime, Wind Ranger going to team up with the Bane. And they will probably not be able to kill off Garter. They really need a Nightmare into Shackle Shot angle, and that's very difficult to have happen. Wind Ranger really is good at poking. That's about all she's good at. Killing heroes at such an early phase in the game, not really going to be possible, even with the perfect setup hero in Bane. The Night Stalker should be fine. Already he's level 3, 2 minutes in, and he's going to continue to be very comfortable in this bottom lane. He can even trade hits with MDL, though, is without boots, and the Bane does. I know I'm going to miss first blood. It's going to happen in mid lane while I'm looking at one of these other lanes. That's going to happen. RNT, though, he's up on the top lane as the Tusk is not quite as comfortable. We could get the Avalanche. No toss, seems like, from Excalibur. He's going to be not as comfortable in this top lane, just being up against a hero that can clap. Like, that's this in and of itself makes Brewmaster a lot more of a dangerous threat than the Wind Ranger. And especially if you have a glimpse set up, you just glimpse him right back into a clap. You may not get the kill every single time because of Snowball, because of Ice Shards, but it's a lot of free harassment damage onto the offlane Tusk. But you would expect this Brewmaster to have a very easy time. And Excalibur, oh, that's not a free time. He needs a bottle help right now. Bottle service, I guess. Spartan, I mean, he's still stacking up the jungle somewhat. But every single time he leaves, Excalibur is stressing the hell out. They can land an Avalanche toss onto the Lich. That will not kill him off. He's going to land a Frost Blast onto Excalibur now. Whereas Necroman, he's doing a lot of damage. He's going to put up another Refraction Shield right now. He's going to look to spill some damage over towards Excalibur. Will not find the right angles. And it will be both sides getting hit really hard. But not quite dead yet. 0-0. And again, I know I'm going to miss First Blood because this First Blood can happen in any of the lanes. It's probably not going to be on Garter. And this Night Stalker, his first nighttime phase is going to be pretty dangerous. I mean, level's really all you want before your first nighttime phase, and level 4 is very high. Up towards the top lane, RNT, he's going to shard himself in. There's no more clap. Is there a glimpse? There isn't. Shockwave! Oh, you little bastard. Satyr is going to get struck down by Milan, but that could have been First Blood. Very close to it. If that Shockwave just did a little more damage or came out perhaps a little bit sooner or something like that. Either way, nighttime is now upon us, but it seems like Shock wants to stick in this mid lane. Frost Blast into Excalibur, luckily for him. The Avalanche is also going to slow down Necroman, yet still he's in potentially a little bit of trouble. Bottle service once again from the IO. Excalibur is going to survive for a little while longer. But this is suddenly not going to become a 2v2 lane. It's going to be a 3v2 lane as NLG are going to rotate the Night Stalker. He actually doesn't have any mana, which is a little bit awkward. He's 15 mana away from being able to do something. And that something is Void. He's gotten the boots, though. This is the ideal situation for an offlane Night Stalker. Very high level, an okay amount of gold. I mean, boots really is minimum. You would like earn, but that's never really going to happen. And now he's going to look for a Necroman. Only has one Void. That's about all he has. I guess he could shout on the mango, get another one. But Excalibur looking for an Avalanche Toss. In the meantime, Necroman going to try to grab First Blood into the IO. Will miss the uphill chance. And now Avalanche Toss will crater the Templar Assassin. First Blood drawn by the IO. Bane's going to arrive. Brain Sap Garter. It's not going to do it. Night Stalker gets a little bit of experience worth, and, well, barely they get away with that. Actually, no, the IO had a double damage rune. You didn't even see that because it's impossible to see double damage runes on this IO. It blends right in. It really needs a more visible effect, I think. Seems kind of unfair. you should be able to tell if an enemy is double damaged. Winter Wyvern is a similar problem like that, but either way, it's going to be the Templar Assassin racing for first blood. Kind of a desperate move, and it's also not going to work out well for her. It's going to be pretty much neck and neck with Excalibur for right now. But the problem is that Excalibur has stacks, a lot of stacks. He's going to get put to sleep, though. There's a Brain Sap here, but similarly there is Milan in the area. Has a glimpse back onto MDL. Is going to land right into an avalanche. No toss mana, however. Now Excalibur is in a lot of trouble, taking a lot of damage. Templar Assassin's going to cut him off. The Night Stalker has arrived. He's going to try to go for MDL, but the Enfeeble doesn't actually do that much damage. Io Spirit's also coming through now. Here comes RNT. Right on top of with the shards. Rule Yourself Spartan is going to try to drag everyone else away so everyone else may live. Mission success, I suppose, for the Io. But after all said and done, it's 2 heroes down in favor of pub players and NLG. Well, their Night Stalker not really doing that much, hitting like a kitten during this first nighttime phase. He does have more mana now. He can Void. There aren't really many viable kill targets here. This is a lot of time for the Wind Ranger to also farm up, but here comes Garter and a toss in on Shock. Avalanche will kill off the Lich, and now they're going to try to go for the Templar Assassin perhaps. Milan does not have a glimpse. He doesn't have a field, but he has to give this Templar Assassin a lot of respect. If you underestimate her damage potential, you will just end up dropping. While all this is happening, up towards top lane, RNT going to get clapped and chased down by the Brewmaster. He does have a split, although he's going to look for another clap to get the kill instead. They both have the exact same movement speed, so they're not going to catch up to one another. I feel like Mitch could have used the split there to get that kill. It would have been slow, and it would have been maybe his own death, so I can understand him not going for that. But hey, I didn't miss first blood, so that's a win for me, guys. 2-2 right now, and this is the first nighttime phase with a pretty high-level Night Stalker, and you expect NLG to be doing a little bit better here. They have yet to clear out their stacks, however. Excalibur is going to have quite a lot of cash to work with in just a little bit, as Spartan has been busy. There's a triple stack over here. This one's unfortunately not going to work out, but yeah, Excalibur, he's neck and neck again with the Templar Assassin, but he will explode and farm, whereas for Necroman, he will explode and farm after he picks up his first item, whether that's Blink Dagger or Desolator, just because he can get those kills, but it's going to be potentially a little bit difficult. Linky down towards bottom lane is going to be run down by Garter. It's not going to be a kill. He's got phase boots, Wind Ranger. Now, I was saying before that the Wind Ranger got a lot of time to farm while that, absolute brawl of a mess was happening over in mid lane. Wind Ranger was happily on the bottom lane, worried about no one. And actually a 1v0 lane. So she's going to be going that much faster towards her Aghanim Scepter. Already has the basic components up in the phase boots and the Null Talisman. Once you get your Aghanim Scepter on the Wind Ranger, if you are on top of the net worth chart feeling good, you can get those solo picks very easily. Maybe even duo picks if you have some backup in Templar Assassin. Just line him up with the Shackle Shot, line him up for the Sideblade spill. Good times there. Excalibur and Spartan can throw an avalanche towards this Necroman. Templar Assassin tosses there as well. Won't quite do it. Shards now blocking off the Io. They'll get the kill with the Tusk. Now to Excalibur. They're going to try to go. Shock arriving. He's not in range for a Frost Blast. Only level 1 actually on the Lich. They want to dive this one. They're thinking about it. They're going to make Excalibur scared, but no, he has avalanche or toss up. Now, actually, he has both up with enough mana for the Magic Wand, so he's not going to die anytime soon.
Radiant's top tower.
3-2, this Io is going to fall, and sooner or later, the NLG side... Actually, no, they did clear out the stack. Okay, that's what they did. Good for them, but now Excalibur may just lose his life. He's going to try to bait them into an avalanche, but he might not get a chance. He won't. Just being run down by Necroman. And Excalibur to fall. A super costly death here for the NLG side. Meantime, pub players, well, they're happily up on top until they get glimpsed back. He's going to hit with the clap, even through the snowball. The slow won't do that much, but here comes the split. And RNT has already used his only defensive tool. He's going to bash with the rock, beaten down by the pandas. He was like a little mammal on mammal action up towards the top lane. But yeah, Tusk going to fall. Yeah, I think it was about time for him to fall. Like, Tusk in the off lane is expected to die. Obviously, if you can avoid death, you're going to be pretty happy, but it's not always going to be guaranteed. In the meantime, there's a pretty sizable stack being created by Necroman, so that's the acceleration akin to the stacks being made by the Io for the Tiny. It may just be more gold for the Templar Assassin. We can see she's already ahead of the Tiny, even after having him clearing out those stacks. Did he actually clear out those stacks, though? I thought I didn't look at it for like 1 second, and now they're all gone. Snowball in towards top lane, though, onto Milan. There's no War's Punch, but Brain Sap is going to get the kill. Bane is going to get yanked all the way back to the bottom lane. That's super convenient for the Bane. That's where he wanted to be. Like, what a good guy that Disruptor is going to give his own life. Okay, yo, they definitely stole it. Oh, yeah, Templar Assassin, I'm pretty sure stole this stack. Or someone stole this stack. I'm sorry for missing that, guys. It's really just my bad. I really want to know where that stack went, but I'm pretty sure that Tiny wasn't able to get his hands on it. Otherwise, he would have at least upgraded boots by now. By the way, pub players sitting pretty. And I said before, I think there's a lot of disrespect being given towards pub players. Because maybe of their name, maybe because people don't exactly know who's on this team, but... Hey, they're all from the same country. They're all kin, and they're all working pretty well together, and they're going to converge onto Spartan right now. Snowball is there. Walrus Punch. Shards not being thrown just yet. And Spartan will tether away to Excalibur, but his escape is going to get walled off. As a small Frost Blast relocate out is going to save the IO. And now they might even continue the fight, as here comes the Brewmaster blink in with Garter. They're going to immediately kill off the Lich, kill off the Tusk shortly after, and glimpse out the Templar Assassin. She has a double damage rune. Will almost get the kill on Milan, but actually misses because of the Drunken Haze. Is going to get the kill in the end, but now stuck in the Static Storm. Here comes the toss in, as the Templar Assassin's also going to fall. A 3-for-1 trade. Garter grabs a double kill off of his Darkness. Nighttime, second real nighttime, not quite upon us just yet, but a huge trade for NLG, a really clutch relocate out from the IO, kind of drawing in the enemy side a little bit too far. And of course, Blink Clap, we all know how devastating this can be if you were around during the .79 eras, I think. Blink forward, clap onto MDL. If I clap you, will you die? It will be extremely painful. Oh, they're going to toss forward the IO onto Klazinki right now. Has had such a free time, but won't have it for long. Void to get the kill. Wind Ranger going to fall. Garter grabs yet another one. Chalk it up for the Night Stalker. No CS, no problem. 304. Should have his urn probably next. Now we have upgraded boots. This Blink Dagger Brewmaster is such a huge engine for NLG to look for these fights. Can't really go for towers, but yeah, I mean, it's fine. You can go for the towers just by beating it down the old-fashioned way, and you'll most likely not be running into any sort of response. Oh, they're just gonna work it down slowly but surely. And this tower again is not going to be really traded away, as pub players really don't have much in the way of pushing right now, at least not until the Wind Ranger gets out to the map and not until she grabs her Aghanim Scepter. But NLG and pub players pretty much neck and neck. The gold chart is in deviations of 500. They're going to glimpse back Necroman. He has Shock here, and he's going to land a pretty big spill hit onto Milan. But now here comes the backup. It's Brewmaster from around behind. MDL he is in a bad position right now, though he does have grip. They also do see Klazinki right now with an Observer Ward that they place. I love this Observer Ward, especially with a Night Stalker on their team. They can put so much additional pressure onto this quote-unquote safe lane. You tell me, how safe is this lane? Not looking too safe to me, because here comes the cavalry. There's going to be a silence. Blink Clap is there. They have a split, and they're probably going to have to use it, although Avalanche is going to get the kill. Chain Frost is out. Guard is going to drag it away. They get the toss onto Shock, bring him down in an instant. RNT is going to arrive, but immediately he's getting hit with the boulder, and he's just going to get beaten down, although there's Snowball to buy himself a little bit of time. Bane's thrown up in the air, and he will not be able to help out RNT in the slightest. He's going to try to go for Excalibur, but Excalibur's going to throw him back in the air in a little bit of revenge, and now we'll start beating down towards MDL. It's going to be a 4-for-0 in this bottom lane. NLG don't lose anybody. Oh man, and now IO's gonna come in, not with many bottle charges, but still, pub players funneling in one at a time. That is not what you want to be doing. And that is, of course, this Observer Ward being a frickin' MVP. But outside of that, it's the fact that Brewmaster is Brewmaster. We are seeing a little bit more Brewmaster nowadays. Is still not really like a super mainstay in the patch. He had his heyday. I think we've all had kind of enough of Brewmaster. Again, I don't really remember what patch it was, but it was a long time ago. Still, with the Blink Clap, this is a very high damage nuke. 300 with the slow, which is an intense slow. On someone like Lich, oh, this is not good. Lich, is he spotted? Seems like they think he's there. Oh, now they see him. They also do see Necroman, however. With no split, it's time to leave. And Zoidberg on out of there. And when I say Zoidberg on out of there, you know how Zoidberg from Futurama is like, whoop, 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 whoop. That's what it means when you just like Zoidberg out. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one who has ever said that and who will ever say that, but I'm gonna make it a thing. And if you guys don't know who Zoidberg is, then I pity you. Go watch some Futurama; it's a great show. But 12-6, and NLG still working with a little bit of organic nighttime. They're also gonna gun straight for the upgraded ultimate from their Night Stalker, or upgraded Night Darkness, I guess, in the Aghanim Scepter. And he's gonna get that one really, really rapidly. If he keeps on this rate, should be like a 22-minute at the latest. I don't expect him to get it by that time, but oh, they're actually going to see the Wind Ranger again. Here comes Excalibur. Here comes the IO. Avalanche toss. Void to get the kill. Steal. But hey, a kill's a kill. And again, I love this freaking Observer Ward. You have so much pressure on the bottom lane, and the enemy team can't really do much about it except for trying to go for Spartan, but he's going to jump right over the shards and the trees, so the snowball is going to come in. Walrus Punch is there to get the kill on the IO, but Garter is here. He's going to start beating down to RNT. Do they have anyone to interrupt this? As they do with the Avalanche, RNT is going to fall to the toss if nothing else. That's one down. Can they go for anything else? They have a Blink Clap. They have no split for another 4 seconds. They're going to instead Drunken Haze and Templar Assassin Chain Frost. Going to bounce between Excalibur and Garter, but now then go to the neutrals. Bad bounces from the Lich, who's now being chased down by the Brewmaster. He's stuck in the rock, and he's going to fall to something here. One more punch for the Pandas. In the meantime, the main fight, Excalibur dropping very low, is going to toss Necroman away from him. Gets away with the double kill. Now here comes the Brewmaster. He's still split, and he's gonna drop Necroman into the 3 Brewlings, he now has another clap. No refraction is going to help him here. Brewmaster has another haze. Shackle shot not going to latch properly. Another silence under Durublood. Necroman's going to get tossed up. Will fall. Now the sustain coming in from Spartan as Klazinki is completely surrounded. He'll fall as well. The stray power shot narrowly missing their Brewmaster target. 7 to 18 and NLG are getting away with absolute murder. I have no idea where Milan is in any of that. Do not ask me because I don't know. They're just farming the heroes of pub players at this point. And they're actually going to go for a pretty late Blink Dagger on Tiny, which is a little bit interesting. Wait, did he sell it? Yeah, he sold it. That's because he wants to buy it here. Never mind. I was going to say, like, given the pace of this game, oh, relocate over towards Shock. Not what the Lich wants to see. Avatos dead. Boom. Unstoppable. 7 to 19. NLG, again, are just farming heroes at this stage. And I guess, like, given the pace of this game, Blink Dagger 15 minutes in and of itself isn't bad on Tiny. That being said, you are getting so much action with your Brewmaster Blink Dagger. Your Night Stalker is going to go for Ags. You can probably afford to, as Tiny, go for a straight Aghanim Scepter. I mean, this is like a real standard build, so it's not bad. I'm just saying you could have gotten away without it. But having this Blink Dagger means that he can do this. Sees RNT, Avatos, not quite dead, almost dead. There's a big difference between mostly dead and dead, but the chase is on. Tusk run. He has shards. He has a Walrus Punch. He's gonna stun himself because of Craggy Exterior. Now he's gonna get tossed upon. Oh man. How does it feel, Tusk? How does that Walrus Punch feel up against the rocks? It's a 10% chance that that happens. And he rolls unlucky. Granted, it probably would have meant his death anyway. But still, Excalibur not even getting hit by that. That just feels so bad, man. Oh jeez. NLG with the decisive lead at this stage. And this is supposed to be when the pub player side have a decisive lead. Like, they have Templar Assassin, they have Wind Ranger. But Wind Ranger has done next to nothing. She doesn't have her Aghanim Scepter yet. In fact, she's behind the Night Stalker's farm in the race for Ags. And given the pace of this game, Aghanim Scepter on Night Stalker is going to mean a lot more than Aghanim Scepter on Wind Ranger. Being able to spot out the 360 vision on the Night Stalker is huge always. But you have two heroes who can complement that really well. I guess three heroes, like Blink Tiny, Relocate IO for Tiny, or Blink Brewmaster, who's now going to go for Vlad's. One of the few ways you can actually increase your ultimate as Brewmaster. Auras are held on the Earth, Wind, then Fire Panda, respectively, I think. Wonder if there's actually any correlation there between that and the song, or the band. Probably not. It might be Earth. I know it's Earth first. I'm pretty sure it's Wind and Fire. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like, his Earth Pruling, he may die later on versus a Templar Assassin who's nuts out of control, but doesn't seem like that's gonna come around yet. Okay, so NLG just gonna take a pause. Don't really know what's going on. Looks like Milan's having some issues. By the way, let's take stock of the items, guys, because we can, because we have the time. And it looks like we have, well, again, two Aghanim Scepters being built up on the Dire side, one in Night Stalker. I'm pretty sure Tiny's going to start building towards that as well. Is about halfway there. And we'll still no Ags on the Wind Ranger. This is the only item that she really wants, and there's no Desolator just yet in Templar Assassin. That will help, but you know, even though Templar Assassin may be doing a lot more damage when she gets that, will she actually be able to survive? Because so far, she hasn't really been doing a great job at that. I mean, not really blaming her for poor performance or anything. It just doesn't seem like survival is really in the books. I like this play. They're going to put Klazinki on the bottom lane, act as bait for Relocate, with everyone else smoked up, and if the IO Tiny were to come in, super dead duo there. IO pinged it. Here comes the Relocate. It's a trap. It's just the IO, though. It's not a trap. It's a reverse bait. IO's going to reveal the smoke. Okay. I don't know if that was miscommunication because they meant to bring in the Tiny, but all planned, man. Just sacrificing the IO. Yeah, everyone else, they blew their smoke for that. So fine. Oh jeez, what a silly play.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Sorry guys, I have a drinking problem. Oh, and Necroman might have a living problem. Drunken Haze up against Templar Assassin is so freaking annoying. Look at this. It's only level 3. 65% miss chance. Like, are you kidding me? That's what level 4 spells are supposed to give. He gets a little bit stronger, plus he has Drunken Brawler. That means MKB is a necessity here from Necroman. And, or BKB. I guess BKB is like a short-term solution. MKB is like a long-term solution. But it is daytime for just about another minute. And in that time, I don't think they're going to be able to get this Aghanim Scepter up on the Wind Ranger, although it's going to be very close. She might just get it. It's like 150 gold or something like that. It's pretty close. But soon the night is going to be upon us once again, and Night Stalker will have the Aghanim Scepter. So full-on vision, full-on aggression here from NLG. Alternatively, they can just chill. Like, Excalibur's power farming in the meantime. 1,000 gold away from his own Aghanim Scepter, so soon the tree branch is going to be coming down. And coming down hard at that. He will need an MKB also to deal with his wind run effectively. But, I mean, that doesn't have to happen until much later. He's okay with just the Avalanche Toss combo, honestly, for right now. Anything other than that, base damage-wise or right-click-wise, is just bonus. Hey, it looks like the C game just ended. Pang 5 tied up with First Departure. Good to see First Departure actually winning a game, even without Miracle. I got a smoke up here now from the pub players. Looking to use this Desolator. And Bane, he wants to use a grip. I don't think he's gripped anyone yet, but here's their chance onto Excalibur. What they don't know is that the IO's right around the corner. They're not even get the grip. 2 TPs coming in. Excalibur going to look to reinitiate because here comes the full vision. Avalanche going to interrupt Necroman's TP out. This is a super dead Templar Assassin. Will they be able to interrupt the Bane? Yes, they will. They're going to glimpse him right back, and eventually he's going to die to someone here. Necroman's going to give them a runaround. Going to try to go for the IO. Good luck making that happen. Toss is going to kill him off. In the meantime, Brewmaster and Disruptor kill off the Bane. Oh man, 2 kills for NLG. That was I guess they were kind of surprised that they saw the Tiny there. Maybe thought about not going for it, but we'll relocate over towards the mid lane. Shock. Avatos dead. Double kill for Excalibur. Now he's going to get shackled to a creep. Walrus Punch is going to kill off the IO. Excalibur now in a 2v1, but again, the Crying Exterior going to slow down the Tusk. And now they're going to turn things around. Milan has a glimpse. He's going to bring him back a little bit, but it actually interrupt the toss. It makes it do no damage if you do that. But here comes Brewmaster. Blink, clap, split available, maybe not needed. Avalanche, right clicks, gets the kill on the Wind Ranger. Now they're looking for the Tusk. They have another Blink Dagger in 5 seconds. Tusk has a Snowball Walrus Punch. Do they want to go for this one? It seems a little bit too deep. Mitch wants in though. Blink forward, clap is going to be dodged by the Snowball. But he can just split it out right now and just go for this kill. Grip is here for MDL. He's going to get the split off first though. Silence now onto the Bane. And now the rocks onto the Bane. This is going to be extremely painful. He's a big guy, but not that big. Oh, he's going to get some help from Shock. And now here comes Necroman. Try to go for the Earth aspect. Gets glimpsed right back to his fountain. Go back from whence you came, Templar Assassin. Brewmaster split. Not doing a hell of a lot, honestly, but still is going to be driving everyone back and doesn't die. So, you know, as long as you don't die, you are happy as a Brewmaster. Especially a Brewmaster who's going to go for what looks like an Assault Cuirass. Shiva's Guard, just about as good on the Brewmaster, I would say, for the most part, even. Oh, shit. What was that? I pressed screenshot, apparently. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't even know what I pressed. I just heard a screen click, and I'm like, oh god, did I break something? Now we can remember this moment for all time. I'm gonna delete it later, I'm sure, but oh, Invis Rune and Guard is gonna blow the smoke here from the pub player's side. They really have to watch out. There's no split on the Brewmaster, but Avalanche Toss is going to bring down the Bane almost instantly. Gets the Brain Sap out. He's going to Nightmare himself, but now he doesn't have enough mana to actually get the grip off. They Static Storm at 4 heroes, but they're going to snowball right out of that. Shards onto Milan as well. Static Storm finally drops. The Brewmaster in a lot of trouble, however. He's not going to get dropped just yet. Tiny still swinging. Avalanche Toss onto the Wind Ranger right now with the IO coming in. They'll get the kill. Necroman will also fall, and the Brewmaster will die. A 5-for-1 exchange. Is this game over? Yeah, it is. Klazinki's gonna call it. NLG decisively smashed pub players. I didn't get as many Bane jokes out as I wanted, but Bane was losing part of your plan. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm sorry, guys. I can't resist. I'm Mikelorus. It's been a pleasure casting this game for you guys. This is a best of 2. No Logic Gaming, and he grabbed themselves 1 point over the pub players' side. Hopefully for pub players, they can bring it back in game 2, but definitely not looking good for them after this game. I'm Mikelorus again. If you enjoyed the cast, stick around because there's three more games coming after this. Abraxas versus NIP after this set, and follow me on Twitter at Mikelorus. But for right now, I'm gonna go and get some more water, and then I'll be right back for game 2. GG, guys.